Whoa. People from there, people from far, Caribbean people, wherever you are. People up north, people down south, people in the east, people in the west. Caribbean people, you are the best. So yes, take that stress off of your chest. Life is beautiful, I must confess. Caribbean people, you are the best.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Caribbean Ducks. I hope everyone is well, feeling healthy, and eating well, and eating with lots of flavor. Because today I got a recipe that I'm going to share with you. It's an original recipe from the Caribbean. Most people would know about it in different countries. They have different variations of this dish. And what I'm talking about is oil down. So in Guyana, we call this metemji. And they use a variation of root vegetables and plantains and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you my recipe for this oil down, and I'm gonna take you in the backyard in my garden. I'm gonna get some of the ingredients, so we're making this all fresh and delicious, nice comfort food, oil down. Follow me, we'll get started.
I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out my salted codfish in hot water about 2 times, and then head to the garden to get some greens and seasoning. Gonna get me some nice young okra here. Just a few that I'm gonna need. Now I have more okra on the trees, but I forgot to pick them, so they're getting hard. So I'm gonna let them set for seeds. But I'm just gonna need just a few okra here, just like this one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get me some nice tender callaloo leaves, also known as chaurai baji. We're making this a nice rich recipe here. This is gonna be a nice rich oil down with all fresh ingredients. Get a few more leaves here. We don't need a lot because I'm not making a big pot. This is gonna be a tiny pot.
Over here I'm gonna get some Merriman basil. Just a couple of sprigs. So my celery is almost done, so I'm gonna cut it all the way back. Still gonna get some to use. This is so fragrant. Over here, I'm gonna get some fresh scallions. I'm just gonna cut them so they can grow back. You guys see, I'm building up my greens over here. We're gonna go ahead and get some more stuff.
Over here I'm getting some of my young tender edible leaf baji to add to this oil down recipe. Just gonna get a handful here. So at this time I urge you guys to please subscribe to my channel to help me grow, and so that I can make more videos for you, so you can be entertained and maybe learn something. I just want to be able to share more videos with you, so I appreciate you. If you're new to this channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button, ring that bell, so you can be notified of my new video as soon as I post them. And that's about it, just a nice handful.
So now I'm just gonna wash out everything here. Get ready to cut them up. And I'll see you on the chopping block. So what I'm gonna do now is get this cast iron skillet going. Light my fire. And what I'm gonna do now is put my saltfish in here. boil out some of this water. Although I used some hot water already twice, I switched out the water. I'm gonna add some more water and let it boil, get most of that salt out. And we're gonna leave that cook for a little while, get some of that salt out. We're gonna come back to this in a second.
So to remind you guys, I'm making my oil down with salted codfish. There's many variations, as I told you before. Some people use pigtails, some people use salt beef.
So this is what I'm going in with here. I got some tomatoes from the backyard. I got thyme, fresh thyme, celery. I got a Scotch bonnet pepper here. I got one medium ripe plantain. I got edos, pumpkin, cabbage, carrot, and a piece of turmeric, onion, garlic, one potato, and ginger. And over here is the star of the show. I already peeled it and I put it in some water here. This is our breadfruit. So I'm covering that down. Get ready for the rest of the stuff. And over there, hold up. This is the rest of the greens that I just got from the garden. So I'm gonna cut everything up and I'll show you.
So for our root vegetables, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm going in with some edo. That's gonna give us a nice thickened gravy. And it's gonna help everything to be nice and rich and creamy. Now, some people may use cassava. I'm trying to use as less of the starchy stuff as possible. So I'm going in with some potatoes here, and that's starchy enough. We're keeping the carbs down a little bit lower today. So I'm just gonna quarter my potato and get started on the carrots. I got 2 large carrots here. Just gonna scrape out the outer layer and get ready to chop that up in a minute. But I'm gonna go in with a tiny piece of pumpkin. This is butternut squash. You can use regular pumpkin. I just prefer to use the butternut squash. It's so much sweeter and it melts out so easily. And it's gonna thicken up our recipe here. Now I'm just gonna chop our carrots in nice little bite-sized pieces, and I'm putting it in some water here so it doesn't discolor, and we can use it easily. Now here's our green plantain, green to medium ripe plantain. I'm just gonna cut it down and peel off the skin and chop it up. Just cut it in tiny little pieces, about a 1/2 inch. Now here's our edo leaves. I'm gonna chop up really small so that it cooks very easily and melt into this oil down. We're making it all rich and healthy. Just cut off the main stem, fold it up, and cut right through it. And here's our callaloo, just a few callaloo leaves that we need. Chop everything up small. Here's the okra that I'm cutting up, and a small piece of ginger. I like using ginger in my recipe. This is our turmeric that I'm cutting up here in tiny little pieces. It's gonna give it that nice rich color. Keep in mind that we're making an immune booster here. And lots of garlic here. I got about maybe 8 cloves of garlic and 1 whole onion that I'm gonna chop very fine. Set that to the side, and I'm going in with a nice healthy piece of Scotch bonnet pepper here just for flavoring. I'm not gonna make it too hot, but just for flavoring. Put everything to the side here. And here's our celery stalks and leaves. This is regular celery. Also have the Chinese celery that's more fragrant and tastier. So I got a basil here. This is my Merriman basil. That's gonna add to the layer of flavors here. Telling you, we're making this nice and delicious, healthy. It's an immune booster here. This oil down is gonna be wonderful and flavorful. Here's our Chinese celery and our scallion that I'm gonna chop together here in small pieces. Getting all my ingredients set up here before I get started. Now this is our codfish. It's boiled, cooled down a little bit so I can work with it. So what I'm gonna do here is remove the skin from it. After it's been boiled, the skin is easily removed. Then I'm gonna try to remove as much of the bones and give it another rinse with some cool water. Gonna get all the bones out, and I'm gonna shred this meat. Make sure to take precaution and get all those small bones out of it. This is what we're left with, so we're just gonna give it one last rinse and shred it up into small pieces. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to our pot and heat it up. Get ready to add our ingredients in there. I'm gonna go for all my chopped up seasoning and herbs. As soon as our oil is heated, we'll add everything together. And as soon as our onions are starting to get a little bit translucent, and we're getting those oils and flavor infused here, we're gonna add our fishes to it soon. Now I'm going in with some fresh green thyme. This is a must-have for your oil-down pot. Fresh thyme is a must. It gives so much flavor and fragrance to your dishes. I recommend you using thyme when you're cooking. You gotta have thyme on your hand. And now I'm gonna get me some dry coconuts. I'm doing this the right way. Going old school here. I'm gonna chop my own coconut by hand. I got some dry coconut laying around that I picked up from my neighbor, and I'm going to use this in the recipe, and this is how I peel my coconut. I'm not a professional coconut peeler or anything like that, but as a city boy, this is how I learned how to do it. And the chickens are coming out because they feel that they're going to get something to eat, because oftentimes what I do, I cut coconuts and I feed it to them. If I happen to get one that's not suitable for me to use in the kitchen, I'm going to cut it open and give it to them.
So I got one down. I need 2 coconuts for this recipe. I'm going to use it to grate it and make the milk. And this is how I do my coconuts. You guys keep in mind that all parts of the coconut is usable. So if you have orchids or you want to plant something, you can use the coconut shell and the husk to enclose your plants and grow some orchids. There we go. I got my second coconut. But for some reason, I see like this coconut is starting to sprout. So we're gonna open it and take a look at it. How many of you guys recognize this? In the islands, we call this the grow. The spongy sweetness here is when the coconut is starting to germinate and grow. And it's so delicious. But a warning, not to eat too much of it because you're gonna be running to the bathroom. And the rest of this I'm gonna feed to the chicken because when it's get to this point, the coconut is not really good for use in the kitchen. So I'm gonna cut open another one and get it ready for the grating. And I will see you back in the kitchen in a second. There we go, I got 2 nice coconuts. I'm practicing my juggling skills here. Alright guys, leave your comments in the box for later. And this is how we open our coconut. I got my Chinese chopper that I'm just gonna hack away at it right in the center and crack it open. Notice that I have a container here to catch the water, because I plan on doing something with the water. This is all that healthy liquid that's inside a coconut, and it's good for a lot of things. I'm gonna get this other one open. And I'm gonna save the water from this one as well. This is what our coconut looked like. So you can always keep this water for a nice, cool, refreshing drink. Put it in a refrigerator in a glass and save it. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna save some inside the refrigerator. And I'm gonna make a nice, refreshing drink for myself as well. Because you know the cook has gotta revive and rejuvenate. And hit it up with a little bit of Henny. A little bit of club soda, some ice, and I have me a nice refreshing, revitalizing drink here to keep me going. So traditionally, this is how we do it in Guyana, how we grate it on this grater here. I know a lot of people asking me, where did I get this grater from? And I got it in my local West Indian store here. So I do recommend, if you want to grate your coconut like this, the traditional way, the real way, get to one of your West Indian grocery store and ask them. Now I'm gonna go in with about 4.5 cups of water. And now I'm gonna massage this with clean hands and get as much of that milk out of there. Now this is regular cool water that I use. And I'm just gonna massage it for about a good 5 minutes to get all that goodness out of the coconut. By the way, guys, this is the same shredded coconut that you're gonna make sugar cake with if you need to, before you get the milk out. And also, the same way that I'm milking the coconut here, it's the same way you make coconut oil. I'll show you that in another video coming up, how I make my coconut oil. It's the virgin coconut oil. Now I'm back to the pot, giving it a stir. Show you what's going on here, family. Take a look at this goodness. Everything is sauteing here, frying. Saltfish is cooked. We're ready to go in there with our coconut milk. Alright, family, if you're cooking this dish and you're not making coconut milk from scratch, you're not doing this thing right, because you need real coconut milk. See all that goodness right there? Gonna press this down a little bit. Make sure we get all that good juice out of there. Now if I want, I can add some more water to this and keep going until I get more of that milk out of here. For now, I'm gonna let it go with this. Give it a good stir, mix it in. Now I'm not adding any salt yet because of the salt fish. Because I know some of the salt is still gonna remain in there, and it's smelling wonderful already. Look at the color of the turmeric here, as you can see, coming right up, making this so rich. Now I'm ready for the rest of the ingredients here. I'm gonna go in with my okra, pumpkin, potato, and I had some tomatoes here from my backyard as well. This is a real deal, y'all. Cooking here for real. Everything fresh here, no powdered stuff, no frozen stuff. Everything here is fresh. We got everything here. Give it a good mix down here. This is a pretty small pot here that I have. I'm just trying not to overcrowd things here. Now this is all going to melt down and get in there and flavor this part. That's all we need. It's going to melt down. It's going to be amazing and flavorful. All natural ingredients here. I'll cover this down and let it steam for a bit. And we'll come back. check this out, y'all. How many of you guys remember doing a bush cook and eating out of one of these? Coconut shell. Leave in the comments how many of you guys remember eating out coconut shell when you cook in the backyard or you do a bush cook. But today, this meal can be cooked with meat, pigtails. I was gonna do it with oxtail, but I haven't seen anybody done it with oxtail yet. I was gonna do it with oxtail. However, my neighbor across the street, a good friend of ours, he's not feeling too well. He's a vegetarian, but he do eat fish and eggs. So I'm making this specially for him so he can feel better. I'm gonna give him a little boost for his immune system, and we'll get him going again. And we'll see some of his fruits and stuff that's going on in his backyard one of these days. But for now, I'm gonna give this bad boy a turn. I'm gonna take a look and see what's going on inside here. Look at all this goodness that's going to be happening here. Uh-oh. Looks like my fire's out. It's a bit windy out here, so a fire came out. And look at this. Everything is starting to tenderize. Potatoes are boiling. My arrow is boiled. We're gonna go a little bit. We're gonna carry this gravy down a little bit more until it gets all nice and thickened, and our spinach almost comes to a melted. And I'll show you back the progress. Hang in there, guys. We're doing this the old-fashioned way, even in a cast iron pot. A little bit more, I would have put it on my charcoal grill. For now, we're gonna let this simmer here and slow cook. Now this step is totally optional. I just feel like eating some fresh eggs because I got them from my hens. I'm gonna drop them right in here. These are some large duck eggs because they're fresh right out of my pen. Gonna use them. Makes for a nice presentation as well. I'm not totally doing ital here because I have fish in here. So the eggs are gonna be a great addition to this. And we're gonna let that slow cook here again and come back in a few more minutes. So this is what we're looking like. Before we go down any lower, as you can see, some of the liquids are evaporating. Before we go any lower, I'm gonna add our star to the show, which is the breadfruit. So this got a lot more to go down until everything thickens. As you can see, the spinach, the callaloo, the baji leaves are thickening everything right here. So now it's time for the star of the show. I cut them really big because I don't want them to melt out. Looks like, oh, I need a bigger pot here now, man. Oh crap. Looks like I'm in trouble. So I'm gonna get this on slow heat. Let it cook. Oh boy.
So our leftover coconut we're gonna feed to the chickens. After about 20 minutes of cooking on low heat, most of the liquids have evaporated and everything is tenderized and cooked well. And this is what we look like, and I'm ready to dish it out and send some over hot to my neighbor with some eggs. It's smelling wonderful here and looking great. All this goodness here, all rich and full of flavor and vitamins. This is sure to bring back you to health. And this is what my oildown look like. All done, ready to eat.
This is a box and spice mango. I want to eat the skin. Wish you were here. Sorry. You guys come on down to Florida. I'll hook you up. Now's the time. So juicy. I want to eat the skin. Even the skin tastes good. Alright guys. I hope you like my video. Subscribe, like, leave your comments. See you in my next video. So stay tuned. Hi everyone. Today I'm excited to announce that I'm collaborating with a good buddy of mine, Hook and Cook, Vlad family. You guys, we're gonna celebrate Christmas in July. You're gonna need to stay tuned for that one. Subscribe, ring that bell so you can get notified when we post those videos. And we collaborate and we're making some comfort foods, some nice delicious stuff here from the West Indies. And we're gonna share that with you. So stay tuned.